I think there are four key learnings from Shazam. One is the importance, if you're a startup business, a growth or a scaling business, that you work hard to articulate your brand. A lot of startup businesses are about technologies, and they're amazing and they solve problems for consumers that need to be solved. But a brand is like a person. It needs to sit and stand above that, and it can bring so much more value to you, both today in bringing consumers in, but also tomorrow. Shazam's brand helped open up a range of partnership deals, which without it, I think it would have struggled. The second thing was the importance of provenance. I walked into those offices in London and saw pretty much 25 techies, bar one or two. We were very clear, because we'd articulated the brand, that this couldn't feel like a technology brand. It had to feel like something that had come from the music industry and was built by the music industry. When we were in beta, in test mode, we went out and found people from the labels, from radio stations, from even artists and other people in the music media ecosystem to be our lead testers. And we made sure that this felt like a brand that came from the music industry. So brand provenance was really key. The third thing is the idea that you give some careful consideration to how your brand is born into the world. Like that first time it makes its first entry and its first statement will get picked up these days even more so and more quickly and at more scale than back in 2001. That means you need to think through the story of your brand's birth. Because we were clear that this was a music discovery service created by the music industry, we went through a careful journey of selecting a Radio 1 DJ, equivalent to somebody you would find in Breakfast on, say, Triple J, and it was her discovery. And she talked about it openly and authentically on air. And that was the first time Shazam was talked about in front of a big audience. That set the tone for all the things we did and how the brand was perceived. The fourth and final thing, and it was a godsend for me as a marketer, because the key question as a marketer is cause and effect and attribution. And having just launched the service, what I learned, and this was before the idea of test and learn and iteration was a thing, because this was 2001, 2002, was the fact that I could test things and immediately see their impact. So we were there in Soho in London, and one day I could get 50 people in Shazam branded t-shirts, send them to a particular part of town at a particular time of day, and I could literally see the number of Shazams and the uplift that I got. The next day I could send people unbranded into certain musically based bars and clubs and see. The next day I could run promos or editorial on radio or on music TV or on other medium and be able to see in isolation what's working and what's not. And we went through a whole series of testing different ideas, being able to measure them before we scaled them up.